$1 soft reminder of the drivers' meeting, the official drivers' meeting. There's more Meltdown officials than there are drivers. We need to change that. We need all drivers at the drivers' meeting. Now, I was telling you about people coming from all over the place. This is Todd Barker, Marlow, Oklahoma. He's here. Jim Resin, U.S. Marshal Resin, why aren't you on duty at this pressing time in our nation? How did you manage to sneak off as a U.S. Marshal to be at the Meltdown drags? That I don't quite understand. I don't feel quite as safe with you at the drag strip as opposed to protecting all of us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while we have a moment to visit here today, I want to tell you about the big sponsor of today's event. It is Denny Guest himself. Denny Guest, South Oak Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Denny Guest beats the rest. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, visit Denny Guest, South Oak Dodge Chrysler Jeep, conveniently located in Matson, Illinois. Conveniently located in Matson, Illinois. Denny Guest, South Oak at 708-747-7950. Call Denny Guest or visit www.southoak.com. Well, hi there, my good. You know, this event wouldn't be the same without you and your wife, and whose name escapes me at the moment. Chris, that's it. Greg and Chris Grubel from Pennsylvania, Port Clinton, Pennsylvania, our very honored guest with his 51 Chevy with a big old engine. I got that part right. I'm a typical drag race announcer. I'll screw up your name, but I won't screw up your car. God bless you. And Jake Wong of DeSoto, Wisconsin. Kevin Ensign, Dana, Illinois. Bill Baker, Itasca, Illinois. Craig Floyd, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with a Model A and a flathead. Dave Pelser, one of our favorites here. Dave is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, with a 1963 International Scout. He is definitely Henny's brother, along with Megan, some of our favorites here at the Meltdown. They come every year from Manitoba, Canada. I can remember, and if I could take Greg Agnew, if the people from Manitoba, if you know a guy up there in Manitoba, Winnipeg, Manitoba, by the name of Greg Agnew, I'll tell you a little story when I see you. He used to come to every event here from Manitoba. Tom Peters, Crescent City, Illinois. Tom Jones, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, with a Crosley rail of all things. And Brian Fortier, one of our premier backers from South Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with a four-door Impala. We call him and his car the Sleeper. Well, here's a fellow that I passed through that town yesterday. Robert, I believe it's Meaves, of Grafton, Wisconsin. John Grenwald, Watertown, Wisconsin, an auto dealer with a Hemi Dodge. Mike Johnson, Marseilles, Illinois. James from Holcomb, Illinois. He is an inspector of passenger rail cars. Well, let's just hope he does his job. John Faust, Volant, Pennsylvania. Brad Thompson, Sanger, Texas, where he is a fireman. He is with a 455 Pontiac powered 66 Pontiac Tempest. Jeff and Holly Hazelwood of Newboro, Indiana. Hooley, well, here's my kind of guy, I can tell already. Hooley Hoffman of Chelsea, Oklahoma with a Henry J. All track personnel, report to your duty stations, please. All track personnel. And the Rocket Man. The Rocket Man is in the tower. Kai Michelson.
Haven't seen you for a while, huh? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. For somebody old.
There's many memories out here, huh? Yeah. Here in Union Grove?
Yes, sir.
Goes way, way back.
Somebody is hunting for you, and they have some goodies for you. And they're over there. They're by a red ambulance. Mark Brutally. Yeah, he's looking. Laura came over and told me to please announce for the legendary Rocket Man, Kai Michelson, to report over there. They have some pictures of the past. You and one of your, or several of your rocket cars. What's new in the rocket world?
Well, we're working, with Kurt Anderson. We're working on going over to Sweden and set a new speed record over there, putting a vehicle together. We're going to try and go 300 miles an hour on ice, and Kurt Anderson's going to be driving it.
How in the world did you rope Kurt Anderson into that? Drivers to your cars, please. Drivers to your cars, please.
Me into it.
Wow. Holy. Thank you. Thank you. All right, the Revell. Hi there, hon. Hi. Where's that? You're still with that guy, huh? Well, I thought I'd take a shot. The Revell model contest is underway. The Revell Make and Take Revell model contest is underway at the Meltdown tent. So all kiddies, all children, report to the Meltdown tent. The Meltdown tent, please. Jim Henry and Brent Henry, all the way from Wichita, Kansas. Mike Lohorn. Mike is from Palmyra, Indiana. He is 19 years of age with a Ford Falcon. The legendary Ron Norman. And driver Mark Hagan of Nelson, Illinois. Nelson, Illinois with an all-steel 40 Willys Coupe. All right, covering this incredible event, ladies and gentlemen. Here is another one you want to join up with if you have the opportunity. Nostalgia Drag World, covering the world of nostalgia drag racing. And Dan Ricks himself, staff photographer, is here shooting this one-of-a-kind, incredible event. Clay Kossuth, Catawassa, Missouri, is here with a 65 Dodge altered wheelbase car. James from Holcomb, Illinois, a railroad inspector in a 63.5 Galaxy. in a Galaxy. In the outside lane, number 171. Thank you, Braden. 171 is Chuck Clothier of Polo, Illinois. He is the township district guy. He's also a volunteer fireman. He is in a 1955 Chevy. Now, streaming this live, ladies and gentlemen, D3 TV with Warren Vince. He is in the tower, and all of this that's going on is on Matt McGee of Janesville, Wisconsin. He is in the Pontiac here in the tower lane. Entry number 260, 260. Jim Cochran, a retired policeman, 74 years of age. Y-block, beautiful 55 Ford mainline out of Marseilles, Illinois. Marseilles, Illinois. Here comes a Jeepster out of Wisconsin. Entry number 52. Entry number 52, my friends. Here in the tower lane, the Jeepster. There's something for everyone here. Every type of automobile, every type of thing you can think of is here at the 2016 Meltdown. Ryan Callaghan of New Berlin, Wisconsin, with a 48 Jeepster in the outside lane, number 161. That is Mr. Walt Pierce of Washington, all the way from Washington, 78 years of age, in a 32 Chevy, and Walt goes through first at 13:53, 97:08, 14:97, 95:94 in the tower lane. A sanitary, a really sanitary 55 Chevy with just an unusual combination of colors. Number 234 here in the tower lane. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Okay, we need a number AN6 cap fitting. And if you have such a thing, the out-of-sight funny car, the green coupe, see Brian Rothman. Brian Kuhlman or Don Francis across from the award-winning diner. Okay, it is a 37 Dodge pickup. A 37 Dodge pickup here in the tower lane. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adam King of Northfield, Minnesota, 37 Dodge truck in the Model A coupe. Well, the truck didn't run for whatever reason. Number 482. 482, Stacy Weld of Wausau, Illinois. He is in a 30 Ford with a blown small block Chevrolet. Ram Chargers, AFX. All right, the Minnesota 37 Dodge pickup coming up next. Here in the tower lane, there's a chop top 50 Mercury. How cool. Coming in for the car show right now. Car show entry streaming in the place. D3 TV. Streaming live. All right, I'm telling you, if I see you, I'm going to call you out. If you're on a mini bike, a turned-up golf cart, anything with a motor, and you are speeding in the pits, your vehicle will be impounded, and you'll be on your You'll be using shoe leather the rest of the day. Hey, you on the thing going, grab that guy. I can't see him, he's out of sight. As soon as he got out of my sight, he turned that thing on. Did you notice? The guy at the back of the lanes, black outfit on a little wheel scooter. Grab him and tell him we're watching him. And we know exactly what he pulled. All right, Doug Wilson, Henry, Illinois. This gentleman is the mayor of Henry, Illinois. Here in the Tower Lane, Henry, Illinois mayor. In the outside lane, number 305B, that is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dale Lindquist of Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, with a 30 Ford Coupe and a 396 cubic inch big block Chevrolet. All right, this beautiful 5-window here in the Tower Lane. This beautiful, this gorgeous 5-window at Highwood. Number 285. All right, 5-window coupe, and I believe I'm going by memory from yesterday when we had a card for this guy. Here it is. It's in the wrong place. Mark from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. 32 5-window. Built in 1966 and first ran at Lions in Long Beach, California. And Mark from Chippewa Falls goes through a good time of 1149, 117.35, 1177, 111.62. All right, car number 450. Greg DeBerg, Racine, Wisconsin, in that purple T-Bird in the Ford Galaxy number 471. That is Mike Reimer of Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. 6440 goes through at 1271, 105.92, 1489 on the T-Bird in the Tower Lane at 87.82. Here is a Box Elder, South Dakota in the Tower Lane. This guy. Box Elder, South Dakota, 292 inline 6, and Cheryl in car number, in truck number 541. 541. Mike Lewis of the Great Lakes Gasser Association has won the giveaway crate motor. The giveaway crate motor. Mike Lewis, the big winner. All right. All the way from California. All the way from California in the Tower Lane, number 21 from the state of California. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Woods. Excuse me, the wrong guy. Robert Woods of Kansas City, Kansas was in the Tower Lane. There's another car very similar out of California. Here in the Tower Lane, a car that did not run yesterday, number 843. 843. That is Brad Thompson of Sanger, Texas. He is a fireman in Texas, a first responder with a 455 Pontiac 66 Temple. Wow, from Texas. A fireman from Texas. All right, the Chevy Deuce, number 136. That is Eric Powell, Belvedere, Illinois. Another Mercury coming up. A Mercury coming up. Number 519. That is, ladies and number 13 here in the Tower Lane. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Hot Rodders and Rodderettes. Thank you so much for being with us here at the Meltdown. John Hopkins from here, Michigan. All right, and Michigan is over the finish line at 10.84 seconds at 121.96. 15.30 on the Comet at 63.16. An absolutely gorgeous Mopar. Number 342. Number 342, Dan Janke of Owatonna, Minnesota. The Corvette, number 152. Number 152, the Corvette. That is Mike Breckenridge of Northfield, another Minnesotan. On the line right now, beautiful 55 Chevrolet. Number 24, ladies and gentlemen, number 24. That, my friends, is Vic from Cary, Illinois. Vic from Cary, Illinois. The 57 Chevy, number 178. Number 178. That is Clinton Champlain. Clinton Champlain. No, that's not Clinton Champlain at all. That's not who was in or Chevy. I don't know who was in it, but it wasn't Clinton Champlain, because Clinton has a very beautiful front engine dragster. Lariano, Janesville, Wisconsin, in the 57 Ford wagon. Here in an absolutely sanitary Malibu, number 163, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely sanitary. Greg Herberth of Gurnee, Illinois, 65 Chevelle. And Larry Otto, Janesville, Wisconsin, in that beautiful purple and white 57 Ford wagon. He has a 460, I believe, under the hood of that thing, and that thing talks. That thing talks. Lariano, 1152 on that big wagon at 116.82. 1094, no speed recorded in the Tower Lane, no speed. All right, coming up next, number 463. Number 463 in the Tower Lane. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom from Shitek, Wisconsin, a crane operator in the blue car. In the red car, that, ladies and gentlemen, is number 504. Number 504. Mike Kennedy, Janesville, Wisconsin, in the red deuce. Well, here comes the battle wagon. Now, when's the last time you were at a drag strip and seen anything quite like this? Number 183 is from, if I remember right, Wausau, Wisconsin. Royce Breckler, Stevens Point, Wisconsin, 57 Mercury wagon. And that baby's talking. You can hear it all the way back here, 1111 at 121.57 in the quarter. car number 223 coming up here in the tower lane. That, ladies and gentlemen, is again somebody whose card we do not possess. Do not possess. Okay, car number 253, the Don Nicholson. The Dino Don. Boy, was he a great guy. He ran here several times. Number 253, whoever he is, I'm sorry, I apologize. We had his card yesterday. We do not have it today for some strange reason. Maybe his wife's lawyer came up here and snatched it. I have no idea, but at any rate, it's missing. Ivan Ford from Ontario, Canada. Ivan from Ontario, Canada. 11:59 in the red car, 113.37, 11:62 on car number 399. Look at this drop-dead gorgeous pair of super stocks. Look at these things. Take a picture. Mitch Menino of Crown Point, Indiana, was in that last black car that ran in the Byron Hill lane. Car number 479, what a beauty that is. Wow. Wow. All right, number 479, Mike Ingersoll of Kansas, with the Pontiac in the Ford here in the tower lane, number 572F. That is, ladies and gentlemen, all right, it's a pair of Fords. The blue car, I believe, is from Verona, Wisconsin. Verona, Wisconsin. Mr. Doug Banksness, one of those rare individuals that remembers the announcer. All right, David Jameson, Verona, Wisconsin, engineer, 66-427 Ford in the tower lane, number 2. Verona, Wisconsin, a great run for the Verona, Wisconsin driver. 10-12, 131, 32, 12-42 in the red car at 112.16. Car number 471. Mike from Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin in the tower lane. In the outside lane, number 485, that is Jared Abley of Pearl City, Illinois. Number 237. Number 237. Any of us of age can remember when these cars, like this car in the tower lane, just people would literally run over one another to get to the fences to watch these cars run. They were sensational, and they still are. And that's why you come to the Meltdown, because you're not going to get this kind of action anywhere else. And unfortunately, once again, I have to tell you, I don't have an entry card for this guy. I find this to be highly suspect. All right, Ryan Hanlon, St. Louis, Missouri, a filmmaker. This could be your big chance, Braden. Did you brush your teeth this morning? Did you comb your hair? Did you spray under your arms? All right, Ryan Hanlon goes through at 11:60. They both turned 11:60 for the quarter mile, and both, amazingly, at 114 miles an hour. Nuller Big Poncho here in the Tower Lane, number 349. You recall this gentleman in Tower Lane. His car was unique, a really unique piece of equipment years ago. He had sponsorship from Mopar, and it was called the Silver Bullet. It was way ahead of its time. And he has returned. He came down here last year to display the show car, and he was literally bitten by the Meltdown bug. I guess you could say it's a spreading virus, if you understand what I'm talking about. Here in the Tower Lane, 79-year-old Stan Johnson. Stan Johnson, Brookfield, Wisconsin. Pontiac-powered dragster. Jay Larson, Beloit, Wisconsin in the sedan. And the 79-year-old Stan Johnson, 833 Pontiac power, 157.12. How amazing! And Stan is obviously tapped in to eternal youth. You have to stay occupied, and that's exactly what Stan is doing. All right, number 101 here in the Tower Lane, Craig Floyd of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with a flathead and injectors in a 29 Model A Ford two-door sedan. All right. Autographs in the tent by the Meltdown display. Jack Merkel himself all the way from the East Coast, another living legend. Jack Merkel will be signing autographs along with the Grove Boys. Well, the Grove Boys are going on early. They're going to sign all day long. They're going to go. Wow, that is really nice of the Grove Boys. They're going to be signing autographs, taking pictures, kissing kids for 4 hours from 12 to 4. Merkel from the East Coast. 1 to 2, 1 to 2, and 3 to 4. These legendary figures signing autographs. Now don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary, especially if you are a lady, if you are a hot rodderette, Barbara Hamilton herself, the first woman to build a very competitive gasser along with her girlfriend. The two of them built a Willys, a very competitive car. You heard last year Bones Balo, the gasser general, describing his intense feelings for the accomplishments of Barb Hamilton of Ohio. All right, number 100. Here in the outside lane in a T440 chassis research car. That is Randy Jackson of Missouri. All right, here in the Tower Lane. That number is, we're waiting for it to come up. The TE440 chassis research car gets backed off. Don't forget, online magazine Nostalgia Drag World is covering this incredible nostalgia event. All right, on the line right now, car number 92. 92, my friends. Jason Mettler. Arlington Heights, Illinois. Arlington Heights, Illinois. With a 301 Chevy dragster. Arlington Heights, Illinois. All original dragster and push car. Owned since 1969. Well, here's something you used to see quite a few of. Obviously, in the day of, funny cars that look like spaceships and all of that kind of stuff. See things like this anymore. There's about 3 events, good ones in the country, where you have to go to see this type of an event. I will share with you where those events are. Green, Janesville, Wisconsin. Small block Chevy, 48 Crosley. Now I can attest that this is a for real street car because I followed the guy in here today. He and a guy in a beautiful, stunning, highboy silver roadster with no fenders. God, beautiful cars. I can only imagine what the old Duffers and Byron were saying as they stopped at the four-way and all those old boys that gather in the morning for their coffee at the McDonald's at 2 and 72. I can only imagine what they were thinking. All right, this beautiful Deuce Coupe, 3-window Deuce Coupe. This, ladies and gentlemen, number 61. Greg Mosey, Yorkville, Illinois, 427 Chevy. And Yorkville goes through 1093, 120, 41. Black Impala, Wisconsin plate. Black Impala. Black Impala. Number Wisconsin plate. Now this is very important. 725 PWJ. It is in the handicap spot. You are parked in a handicap spot. What kind of a leaker are you? Black Impala, Wisconsin plate, 725 PWJ. You are in a handicap spot by the winner's circle. Now, sir, whoever you are, if you don't move this thing, we will. And minimum tow charge with all the traffic that's here today would be at least $300. So I strongly suggest that you get the thing moved. All right, number 543, Craig in the Imperial, Missouri, 62 Bel Air. He blows through with the blower at 946, 140.90, 1044, 127.17. Car number 89 in the outside lane. Car number 89 in the outside lane. That is Mr. Dean Markson. Pigeon Lake, Minnesota. 56 Ford. 56 Ford with a 427. Here in the tower lane, the Rude Stewed. Number 22. Number 22, ladies and gentlemen. The Rude Stewed, Adam Bateman of Stacy, Minnesota. 355 cubic inch small block Chevy powered 53 Studebaker. Studi, if you will. And the Studebaker driver comes up with a triple O perfect reaction time. And he goes through at 1050, 127. 84, 1073 on the car in the Byron Hill lane at 121 miles an hour. Car number 368 here in the tower lane. That That is Ryan Relic of Harvard, Illinois. Farmer Excavator. The gray primered 55 Chevy, number 497. That is Lee Vickery of Hodgenville, Kentucky. Of Hodgenville, Kentucky, will you? Kentucky represented at the Meltdown, the 2016 Kentucky represented. Bill Eveland, Canton, Illinois, 55 Pontiac with a 455 Pontiac under the hood in the number 497 Chevrolet. That is Lee. Ryan Pope, Batavia, Ohio. All right. Power lane 1071, 124.75, 1209, 110.49. Oh, wait a minute. Who's this guy think he is? The Chi-Town Hustler? What a burnout! Let them hear it, ladies and gentlemen. This is all for you for the 2016 Meltdown fans. Let them hear it. Let them know that you're with them. That is, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, in that beautiful 55 Chevy, that is Terry Stolowski of Oakdale, Minnesota. No, it isn't. No. That is Nick Frood of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Here in the number 3611. Adam Lohorn of Palmyra, Indiana. And he goes through at 11:28, 120.76. Speed is obviously goofy in the tower lane. 222 miles an hour. Warren, have you got anything to do with that? Have you managed to figure out a way? You're kind of an electronic bug character. Have you figured out a way to tap into the speed clocks? That guy in that car just went 222. All right, number 607. Number 607. Right there. A.T. Moses of Georgia. From Georgia, ladies and gentlemen. 56 Chevy with a big black Chevy. A big black Chevrolet from Georgia. All the way from Georgia to run at the incredible Meltdown. And he goes, the Georgian goes 1072 to 126.20. Well, he's back up again, somehow or other. Stan Johnson, Brookfield, Wisconsin. 79 years of age. Pontiac powered Jim Davis chassis. This time takes it real easy. All right, we got a good look at Henry J. here in the tower lane. Number 227. Number 227. Twisted Piston pitted at the finish line. Big black Chevy, they need an Escadarian solid roller lifter. If you have such a thing, an Escadarian solid roller lifter for a big black Chevy, please come to the tower. Here is the Blacktop Bully. The Blacktop Bully. I love the name on this one. I love the name. Looking at the size of this guy. Thank God he probably isn't a bully. Guys usually that are like that, he really don't fit the bully profile. That was Rich Bear, Elkhorn, Wisconsin, in that 40 Chevy with a 427 cubic inch small block Chevrolet. Tom Carey, Fenton, Missouri, in this beautiful orange Willys in the outside lane in the American Motors car. That is entry number 104. Number 104. Mr. Mark Campbell, St. Louis, Missouri. Deals in firearms and reports that business is brisk. All right, 11-12 at 119.82. 11-41, 114.06. Have your cameras ready at all times. Here at the Meltdown, where you're going to get the best. Where you're going to get the best of photos. Here in the Tower Lane, number 442. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff and Holly Hazelwood of Newboro, Indiana, were in the car in the Byron Hill lane, and we again apologize. The entries are still coming in. People are still checking in, and we don't have their cards in file just yet. Okay, this is number 185. Kind of weird. Carl Root, Washington, Illinois. He is a big-time NHRA guy. Carl Root of Washington, Illinois. All right, 1341 at 107.83. And look at that perfect, oh, good Lord, look at that angle. Is that too much or what? Unbelievable. Only to be seen at the Meltdown. That is Rusty Baldwin of Jefferson City, Missouri, a sheet metal worker with a 350 Chevy 49 Angla. Here in the Tower Lane in this 57 Nomad, that is number 78. Number 78. According to Warren Vince, that did not sound good. And I think Warren... that is Steve Brewster of Rockford, Illinois. Steve Brewster, Rockford, Illinois. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you some stuff here. Denny Guest, South Oak Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Nobody beats Denny Guest. He beats the rest. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, visit Denny Guest, South Oak Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Located in Matson, Illinois. Call Denny Guest, South Oak at 708-747-7950. Denny Guest, South Oak is a proud sponsor of this year's Meltdown Drag. My son Joe is over there with the concession stand. Stop and visit him. It would be appreciated. All right. Number 483. Number 483. Marty Pixler, Durand, Illinois in the Tower Lane. In the outside lane, number 452, my friends. That is somebody we don't have a card on yet. Wow, this must be a barn find here. This must be a barn find. All right, whoever's yelling, stop yelling. I got a strong hunch as to who it is. Well, that big smoky burnout took its toll. He was attempting to entertain everyone, and it certainly did the job, but we, unfortunately, it may be broke. Stay right where you're at, my friends. Stay right where you're at. Our crew will be down there. Crew, let's move! We'll do it. Johnny Rotten, may I remind you, there is no smoke. Stay right where you're at with that thing. There's nothing allowed in the burnout area, Johnny Rotten, except for safe smoke. Safe smoke is the only thing allowed in the burnout area, Johnny. You came close to violating one of the most important rules in the place. We only have a handful. No speeding in the pits. Please be, you look at that young lady clapping. She is obviously a friend of the environment. She knows what I'm talking about. Please, at all times, if you have to walk 15 or 20 feet, guess what? You'll probably live longer. Put your deposits in one of the many barrels. Please. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, with a capacity crowd here yesterday, not quite the same as today by any stretch of the imagination. But you could see when you came in here this morning, after all of those people that were here before you, the place was hospital clean. If we needed to lay somebody on the tarmac over there and perform emergency services, we could do it. It was that clean. It is that clean. So please do your part to protect this beautiful environment. If there's one thing in particular that the citizens of Byron know about this place and talk about it all the time, they cannot believe it as to how many people are here for this event, the wheel stand event, the streetcar shootout. And at the end of the day, and if you don't think the neighbors talk about this, well, guess what? You're wrong. They do. And they absolutely cannot believe how clean this place is after thousands and thousands of people visit here. They just can't believe it. And we want to take this opportunity by all means to say a big, big thank you. If BJ Banksness, who is not that way, if he could, he'd kiss every one of you because he truly appreciates your concern of the environment. Man, would you say, pull that baby up a little bit. Hey, Brian, number 2, pull that green coupe up a little bit. I want everybody to get a look at that thing. That is absolutely unbelievable. Brian Steele, can you have that Chevy coupe pull up a little bit so that people in the stands can get a good look at that thing? Can you have him pull up a little bit, please? That is a stunner. I mean, a stunner. You talk about eye candy. Look at that thing. No, unfortunately. We have spectators from Spain. Rotten. Number 390, Johnny Rotten, ladies and gentlemen. And believe it or not, that's his real name. He is from Plymouth, Michigan, and he sells dirt for a living. He's in a 427 big block Chevy. And Johnny Rotten, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Johnny Rotten. Look at this, bad to the bone. Look at this thing, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Even a blind man like Mr. Bill, well, Mr. Bill, he does have this going for himself. He has 20% eyesight in the left eye. Phil Clausen of Oak Brook, Illinois. He is a doctor, a sports medicine doctor, in a 37 Chevy with a 502. Here in the Tower Lane, number 238, my friends. Number 238. That is somebody that I don't have a card for. All right, Meltdown Drags. T-shirts are on sale right now at the Meltdown booth. I know you're active. That was very kind of them. Hopefully it's my size. Well, I was just blessed with a... oh my God! I didn't even look at this. This is from 1978. Byron Dragway, U.S. Bracket Nationals, back when we got 650 to 703 entries. Whoever you are, what did he say the guy's name was? Whoever did this, thank you so much. Brought it to the tower, had it delivered to the tower just for me. Thank you. Roger Brown. Roger Brown is here somewhere. I'm going to get this. All right, going down the track right now, number 510, my friends, 510. That is Daniel from Montgomery, Illinois, a truck driver. On the line right now, the 55 Chevy, the green car, that is number 53. Ladies and gentlemen, Gordy, no it isn't. Gordy runs Studebaker. All right, Mark Stiles, Waukesha, Wisconsin in the green car, here in the Tower Lane, number 411. That is Nick Miles of Ingleside, Illinois. I believe that's right. His handwriting is so horrible that believe me, I'm guessing. All right, Gordy Beach. And that car was featured in the, not this edition, but the one previous, Gasser Wars Magazine, big feature article on the Assistant Deputy Fire Chief, Rockford, Illinois, 53 Studebaker. That is a Studi, and let me see if I can figure out what it is powered by. It is powered by a 259 Studebaker V8, a Studi. You know, in certain parts of the country, they're known as Studis. All right, number 97, the missing link. Ed Smith Speed Shop, the missing link. Dave Walters, number 97, here in the Tower Lane. Number 64, Fenton, Missouri, in the Tower Lane. Boy, there are so many people come here from Missouri every year, including Princess Cheryl. She's here again. She tried. All right, David Walters. I assume they're all Monticello, Illinois, in the Anglia. Dave Walters. What are the chances that two Walters would meet up and from different states? So, Meltdown or bust on the back window of this number. Bob bases somewhere in some township in Ohio, here in the Tower Lane, Ohio. All right, number 246. Mike Japansky. Winona, Minnesota, in the 56 sedan delivery. Here in the Tower Lane, in the beautiful 57 wagon out of Dixon, Illinois, a retired public school teacher. That is Mark Schaefer, Dixon, Illinois. All right, our crew for today's prestigious event includes the legendary. Wow, look at that, my friends. Tommy the Hitman Mercer, who went through a fortune when he was a prize fighter, and now he ends up in the burn box at Byron Dragway. So you can imagine to yourselves as to how he burned through the money. Too many women, too many nights after dark, all the rest of that kind of thing. Joey Grimm, Mr. Byron, back there. Well, he's not picking. He's picking rubber off his shoes. That's the only pair he owns, unfortunately. And then we have Brian Steele in the lanes. We have Mr. Bill watching over the burn box. And we have starter Ray Smith, Ray and Sue Smith, Sue working the gate. All right. John Andresi, Nakusa, Wisconsin. Nakusa, Wisconsin, the home of the Sodders who race in NASCAR. All right, Nakusa, watch yourself there. I fell last Saturday and my ribs are on the right side are still killing me. Be careful not to trip. It's especially when you're older, which is certainly my story. All right, Jim Paulsine of Kenosha, Wisconsin, owner of the Music Center in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Thing that's certainly picked up in interest in number of entries this year are vintage motorcycles. right, number 581, Tom Rotard of Creston, Iowa, on a 73 Triumph Bonneville. And speaking of Bonneville, it was on CBS Nightly News that Bonneville is in about the best shape it's been in years, and Speed Week at Bonneville will take place after a 2-year layoff because of bad conditions. All right, Jake Long of DeSoto, Wisconsin, on an XLCH 1969 Harley Davidson. Vintage motorcycles. Richie, this is what you're into, isn't it? You need you know that old vintage bike you got, Richie? You need to get a sidecar put on it and have some kind of a separation thing, Lexon or something, and you can give Dougie a ride down here. You know, he's always pinching pennies. He needs a ride out of town. Excuse me. All right, on the starting line right now, number 350. I'm just kidding, Richie. Don't go back playing that on him, you. Jay Rogers, Clarksville, Iowa, on a 64 Sportster, Harley Davidson Sportster. Here in the tower lane, number 320. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lee Wickstrom, Carver, Minnesota, in the tower lane, and he is about 17 Greyhound bus lengths in the lead. 12:05 at 113.32. 13:10, 96.03 in the outside lane. A big Ford, God, can you remember when these big Ford Galaxies and the Biscaynes and the Mopars were going at it? God, that was really, really something. James from Holcomb, Illinois, a railroad inspector, is in the Galaxy. Here in the I've been here for I don't know how many years, long time. I have never seen this guy before. We obviously smoked him out with this event. He couldn't resist. He had to stand up to the little person at home and say, "I'm going to the Meltdown, period." Eric Gamble, Towerside, and Eric is from Nebraska, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Nebraska. Alrighty. And Scott Rods was up here a minute ago. And remember this, Scott Rods is with the Ohio Outlaw Cancer Association. Scott Rods by Scott. And they run Richie 8th mile. And when you see them run, you'll know why they only go 8th mile. They are something else. The Ohio Outlaw Gassers are in town for the Meltdown. All right, excuse me. Ike Andrews, and he is from Baraboo, Wisconsin. Ike Andrews, Baraboo, Wisconsin. And Pat McGee in car number 17, the big Pontiac. Pat. Janesville, Wisconsin. Number 235, the 57 wagon coming up here in the tower lane. Number 230. In the outside lane, number 350. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Ken Burmeister and Monty Buck of Mexico, Missouri. Monty Buck is tower side. Ken Burmeister all right, a.k.a. the Boogeyman, Dale Brimmore, Elgin, Illinois, in that 50 Chevy. All right, on the line right now is the mayor of Henry, Illinois, in the 56 wagon. Henry, Illinois mayor. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a U.S. Marshal in our midst. We got a visitor from Australia. We have some fans here from New Zealand and from Spain and from, obviously, a boatload of racers out of Missouri with an enormous number of racers. Missouri has really supported this event. So the Missourian, what is that, the Show Me State? Well, I'm going to say this. You show me low ET at top speed, whoever it is from Missouri, and I'll leave it to Princess Cheryl to inform me as to who, and they will get a special gift certificate redeemable at the award-winning Byron Dragway Diner. How's that? All right, Vic from Cary, Illinois, with a 57 Y Block 312 Ford wagon. He is coming up in the Tower Lane. Mr. Bill, who has years and years and years and years of experience with a mop, is out there doing his thing. All right, young man, sneak on in here. We're always anxious to meet new fans. Hi, Andrew, how are you? All right, Andrew taking this prestigious event in. Andrew is a honor student in Wisconsin. All right, this gentleman is from Washington State. Walt Pierce, and this is his mistress right here. His mistress. This is who he sleeps with at night. His mistress. Drives all over the country. This is the true story. This guy, the mistress, drives all over the country taking in the various drag strips. And this was the one he was really looking forward to. And that's understandable. I mean, look at what he's driving. I mean, look at his emblem. It's understandable. Walt Pierce, 78 years of age. He wanted to get this in. This was on his bucket list to attend major drag race events throughout the country. And here he is, God bless his soul, 78 years of age, living the dream. This was something he wanted to do. It's a 32 Chevy 5-window. This is something that Walt wanted to do. And so he is hitting drag strips and in particular these really outstanding events while he's still able to do so. He's 78 years of age. God bless him. I guess that's not politically correct, so I'll just say bless him. Bathroom number 6 is, oh, all right. Well, when one of the bosses comes up here and tells me to say something, who am I to not do it? That is Ron Johnson in that track car, and it's street legal. And look at that Willys as he shifted gears. Could you believe that thing? Gary Misko, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, in the 39 Willys 4-door. He blows through at 1385, 9951. Ron Johnson, Rockford, Illinois, 1567, 85, 41. Schmidt Trucking here in the Tower Lane. Schmidt Trucking, that is in 19. Paul or Jason Blendowski of Bartlett, Illinois in the 41. Paul Blendowski was in the Schmidt Trucking car in the Tower Lane. All right, number 475 here in the Tower Lane. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Chapman, Little Chute, Wisconsin, 31 Ford two-door sedan with a 325 Dodge Hemi. And the Jeepster from Wisconsin. Number 52, the Jeepster from Wisconsin. That is Brian Gilligan of New Berlin, Wisconsin. Over 100 people right now, that's kind of a leaker number. Over 100 people. Maybe you need to throw a little porn in with it or something. All right. 100 people are sitting at home. 100 people are sitting at home watching D3 TV. All of this is live. All right, Tower Lane goes through at 1331, 102.26, 1384 at 98.51. Here in the Tower Lane, this beautiful, this stunning 5-window. Number 15, my friends, number 15, that is Jerry Power of Maribel, Minnesota. In the outside lane, number 16, that, my friends, is Adam King of Northfield, Minnesota. And again, so many people from Minnesota. It's unbelievable how many people are here from Minnesota. Number 541. Number 541. That is Princess Cheryl Kaiser of Arnold, Missouri. She is a stunt woman, having appeared in several movies. She drives that truck all the way from Arnold, Missouri. She has been to all Meltdowns, all 6, and drives it from Arnold, Missouri. Drives that pickup truck. She is a cancer survivor who drove over 300 miles one way to get to the Meltdown. And she goes through at 1438, 90, 79, 1398 at 9354 in the outside lane. Deuce two-door sedan or perhaps a Model A. In the outside lane, it is the Ram Charger, number 499. Sean Johnson, Edgerton, Wisconsin. Here in the Tower Lane, number 482. 482. Stacy Weld of Warsaw, Illinois, was in the Byron Hill Lane. Here is Ron Pelder of Box Elder, South Dakota, with a 292 inline 6 powered pickup, a Chevy pickup, 3100 Chevy pickup. Number 558. Number 558 in the outside lane. That is Roy Weld of Columbus, Minnesota. Columbus, Minnesota. All right. There is Clay Cussett of Catawassa, Missouri, in that Dodge funny car. He's coming up shortly. A purple T-Bird, my friends, number 558. Mark Schnuber, Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. He is in the 5-window Deuce. In the T-Bird, number 453. Greg DeBerg of Racine, Wisconsin, 58 Ford T-Bird with a 460. Mark from Chippewa Falls, 1165, 116.30, 1425 at 96 miles an hour. On the T-Bird, the purple bird, the purple bird. Chris Robin in the 56 Ford. He is from Germansville, Pennsylvania, in the 56 Ford. In number 305B, that is Dale Lindquist of Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, and a 396 Chevy 30 Ford Coupe. And we have a pair of funny cars, or altered wheelbase. This precluded the funny car era. We have Clay Classen of Catawassa, Missouri, in a 65 Dodge. Here in the Tower Lane, Winwald, Water Watertown, Wisconsin, an auto dealer, 65 Dodge Cornet altered wheelbase, 426 mechanically stock injected Hemi. All right, Clay, fortunate to have a backup lady. And that pinup contest will take place at 7 o'clock this evening. 7 o'clock this evening for the pinup contest. All right. Oh, look at that. She's got, that young lady's got it all figured out, don't she? She's having a good time, guy. Good for you, hon. Man, she is in great shape. Did you see her go over that wall? She could hold classes at the Minnesota State Prison. Goes over the finish line first out of Watertown, Wisconsin, 872, 152.39.03 for Clay at 147.60. All right, number 465, the red Ford, my friends. That is Daniel Traum, Blooming Prairie, Minnesota. In the outside lane, number 450, the Pontiac, my friends. Bill Killock of Watertown, Wisconsin. Another guy from Watertown, Wisconsin. There's so many racers out of Watertown. A lot of racers out of Watertown. Well, I can speak with authority when it comes to this Clark Speed Special from Wichita, Kansas. This is John Clark, ladies and gentlemen, and this red deuce hauls the mail. This red deuce is the real deal, let me tell you. All right, number 18, the maroon car. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Mary Ronan of Fort Wayne, Indiana. 331 cubic inch small. There goes John Clark. Wichita, Kansas. Clark Speed Shop Deuce. John Clark, Wichita, Kansas. 984, 130, 33, 1255, 108, 34. All right, number 233. Number 233. All right. In the outside lane, that is, ladies and gentlemen, car number 1964. Robert Woods, Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas. Dennis Kinnaman, Rockford, Illinois. Number 103, that altered wheelbase car. Dennis Kinnaman, who has excellent handwriting. 426 Hemi Plymouth. In the Tower Lane from Tonica, Illinois. It is the U.S. Speed Center Deuce, Tough 2. I can remember this guy when I did the NHRA Holly Hot Rod Reunion in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He was there, and again, he puts a big hole shot on that Plymouth, and it held up. It held up, my friends. Tom Elliman, Tonica, Illinois. All right, number 6, 621. Number 621. Wayne Evanston, Galesville, Wisconsin, 63. Joe Lunsford of Ohio. Joe Lunsford of Ohio, excuse me. All right, number 13 here in the tower lane. That is, ladies and gentlemen, number 13. I'll have it in a second here. John Tompkins of Michigan in the tower lane. High Life! He has been here. Number 588 here in the tower lane. That is Jeremy Stuffer of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin in the Nicky car. The Junkyard Ram. Wow. Alright, the Junkyard Ram. The Junkyard Ram. Kent Sawyer, Milford, Indiana, with a 505 wedge Dodge Polara. In the outside lane, number 79. Joe Lunsford of Ohio. Alright, the Junkyard Ram. The Junkyard Ram, 1128, 117, 15, 12, 76, 110, 68. Number 90 here in the tower lane. Number 90, the Blue Falcon. Nick Sanford and Kevin Dark of Perry, Kansas. He is a United States Air Force pilot, a USAF pilot. In the outside lane, number 45, my friends, that happens to be Mr. Steve Yoder. Syracuse, Indiana. All the way from Texas, the fireman, the fire engine, here in the tower lane, all the way from number 843. Brad Thompson, Sanger, Texas, the fire engine. First responder in Texas. The outside lane in a little Ford Falcon, number 486. That is Dan Ulrich of Plainfield, Illinois, Midwest Hot Rod. Dan Ulrich. All right. Rapid apparatus. Apparatus. Boy, you can get Joe, ladies and gentlemen, several visitors, several racers coming all the way from California. And this is one of them. Rapid Apparatus. Joe Hickenbottom, Aromas, California. Aromas, California. Blood quads. All the way from Aromas, California. Let them hear it. Jake Speed Equipment, he's in town. All right, American Motors Drag Racing. That is Sunday, July 31st. So if you have a American Motors entry, American Motors entry, an AMC race day at the playground at Power Byron Dragway, that is Sunday, July 31st. Open at 8 a.m. Racing starts at 10 a.m. after the American Motors Corporation International Convention in Rockford, Illinois. The Rockford Rag is always writing about tourism. I wonder if they're going to pick up on any of this. We have the senior auditor for the Rockford newspapers over there, working in the concession, the young lady with blonde hair that I'm calling out right now for more coverage for the playground of Power. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a real treat here. You are in for a real treat. This thing is all the way from West Seneca, New York. All the way from West Seneca, New York. Can somebody tell us? I think this is 8th mile. This is the Ohio Outlaw Gassers, Scotch Rods, Ohio Outlaw Gassers. And that Al, and boy, this guy's got a name that I am incapable. Crazy Man's Toy. Tim Irwin, here in the Tower Lane, Tim Irwin. He is running for Moser Engineering. Al Jr. from West Seneca, New York. Al Jr. All right, Al is Smoshinsky Jr. Pembroke, New York, 10-year project in the Cage 33 KHD. All right, a 5:09 in the 8th at 136 miles an hour. And Irwin having handling problems, as you can see. All right, the Ogle County deputies, that one got their attention. All right, folks, why don't you take a seat while there's still some available? Those old legs are going to start wobbling here before too much longer. You might as well give them a rest and get a seat. All right, number 35 here in the Tower Lane. Are we back? This is Marty Lum of Tomah, Wisconsin, in the outside lane. Number 223. Number 223. George Adams in the White Falcon. George, could be a Fairlane. George Adams, look at this eye candy in the Tower Lane. If you're into muscle cars, look at this Plymouth. Put your eyes on this GTX Plymouth. All right, Chevy versus Ford, my friends, here at the 2016. And the Ford driver a little over anxious there, a little over anxious with a red light. All right, at the finish line, it is the Chevy at 1184 in the Tower Lane at 100, 1165, 1203, 113, 64. We're going to have a word with this guy. A little shaky to say the least. All right, Meltdown Drags continues. Number 504 in the Tower Lane, Mike Kennedy, Janesville, Wisconsin in the Red Deuce. In the Corvette, number 82, Frank Urbanski. Frank is from Denver Grove Heights, Minnesota for the Corvette. Corvette at 1085. All right, Larry Otto in that beautiful 57 Ford wagon. Not only is it good looking, but it runs, it talks. It's a great light. And the Chevelle never knew what happened. All right, Larry Otto, Janesville, Wisconsin. He is into the tunable 1147. Man, that's a lot of freight to haul in the 11s. 1147. 116.47. You know, tickety boo here in the Tower Lane out of Manitowoc, Wisconsin. That is what drag racing, years and years ago, virtually everybody that drag raced had a name on the car of some kind or other. This gentleman is from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you were to look around, you would see just an enormous amount of humanity, an enormous amount of machinery. Just absolutely awesome. And right now, I heard a little bit of scuttlebutt going on behind me earlier. Tower, quite a busy place. That next year, Byron Dragway is going to open up like another 14 acres. Another 14 acres. For the second time in the history of the racetrack, you can see that people are parking across the street That is our property. We're not invading anyone else's property. But for the second time in the history of the illustrious Byron Dragway, which years and years and years ago used to be Rockford Dragway, for the second time ever, we are utilizing our property across the street. All right. That being said, here is the legendary Dick Monaco of Aurora, Illinois, with the L Speed Shop, Chicagoland Ford dealers, Big Ford Galaxy in the Tower Lane. In the outside lane, number 471, that happens to be Mr. Mike Raymond of Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. Dick Monaco way off the mark, 11:45. I don't understand that. He's usually in the 10th. Verona, Wisconsin in the Tower Lane. Verona, Wisconsin. A 10-12 last run, 10-16 this time. 10-16, 131.22. David from Verona, Wisconsin. All right, big Pontiac here in the Tower Lane, number 3. Ryan Burton. Ryan. Prospect Heights, Illinois, in the Ford, number 485. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Dave. Jared Abley, Pearl City, Illinois, with a 390 Ford. He goes through at 13:35, a 105.05. Here in the Tower Lane, 14:43, 89.96. In the outside lane, Bob Mosher, Elmhurst, Illinois, and that fair lane gets with the program. Here in the Tower Lane, number 83. Bill Johnson, Lansing, Michigan, with the red car. Lansing, Michigan. Mosher, Elmhurst, Illinois, 10:72, 125 in the white fair lane. Here in the Tower Lane, the Michigan Red Ford, 1183, 116.66. A 29 Studebaker two-door sedan. Here in the Tower Lane, entry number 155. Terry Starwelski. Oh, Terry, be careful. Keep it on the wall. Oakdale, Minnesota. Oakdale, Minnesota. Gary Mosey. Yorkville, Illinois, 1083. Drove it into the track, 120 miles an hour. Here is a U.S. Marshal, Special Agent, 10 resident. Elgin, Illinois, in the outside lane. Dave Verche, Tinley Park, Illinois, hot rod painter with a 427 Chevy 55 Chevrolet. Hot Rod Magazine. All right, Special Agent resident. The Special Agent, U.S. Marshal in the Tower Lane. He goes through at 10:54, 125, 10, 10:75, 124, 89. Craig Floyd, Sioux Falls, South Dakota in the Tower Lane with an injected flathead Ford in a 29 Model A Ford two-door sedan. Doug Goodman. A special welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Doug Goodman, the motorsports editor, Rockford Register Star. Slow down on that four-wheeler, slow down! It was. Congratulations to Kevin Olson, the midget driver that from the Loves Park area that Doug Goodman, Rockford Register Star, made the announcement yesterday that Kevin Olson will be going into the USAC Hall of Fame this next week, along with Tony Stewart and several other notables. All right. Eric Shantz, Kingsville, Missouri. Chris Raj, Bourbonnais, Illinois, down by Kankakee on 57. And that is car number 229 from Bourbonnais, Illinois. Look at that beautiful roadster with a blower dropped roadster number 604, ladies and gentlemen. That is Charlie and Liz Overfelt of Roanoke, Virginia. All the way from Roanoke, Virginia. All right, that beautiful roadster sitting over there, and you can see we do have a problem. The one or both could not get stopped with those roadsters, and they are deep in the sand. This is going to take a few minutes. Have the, ladies, walk out here so everybody can see you. Walk out this way. Walk out. Watch out for, all right. Just walk right out in front of the starting line. We are shut down. These grill shells, ladies and gentlemen, are part of the silent auction. These ladies are representing grill shells that you can bid on at the silent auction, and that's over at the Meltdown tent. The Meltdown tent, and these ladies are good enough to display the wares, the grill shells, all part of the silent auction in progress at the Meltdown tent, which is not right behind the tower, but just to the north of the tower behind. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, Ron Leake. I'm going to take a little break here at this time. That beautiful roadster all the way from Roanoke, Virginia. That is Charlie and Liz Overfelt, Roanoke, Virginia. He is a retired school teacher with a blown, I didn't even notice that, blown flathead, 23 Ford Roadster. All right. That is Scott Rods. You're not used to meeting up with royalty every day, are you, Warren? You live this very sheltered life with D3 TV. Remember, we were announcing, don't you remember a few weeks ago we were talking about him at Bowling Green? This guy's a celebrity, and he's a real breathing person. Scott's Rods. If you want like several of these beautiful hot rods and you want one yourself and you've recently come into sudden wealth or something, you can contact Scott of Scott Rods. He's on the property, Scott Rods, and he'll build you the car of your dreams. Or Scott's Rods is the person responsible for the cool grill shells that you can bid on. And you never know, you might just walk out of here with one for like $11.59. But you must bid. You must bid. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Meltdown Drag sponsors. There they are, Dave Davis. Dave Davis leading the young Meltdown ladies with the grill shells. 2016 Meltdown Drag sponsors. They include Phil and Dee Morris, Gasser Wars Magazine, South Oak Dodge, Hot Rod Deluxe Magazine, Suburban Chevrolet, Southern Minnesota Auto Supply, Moser Engineering, Sherman, Holly, Traditional Rod and Culture Magazine, Don's Auto Parts and Machine Shop, Classic Instruments, Stewart Warner Instruments, Classics Plus, Elke Digger, Raider Wheels, Stein Jagger, BangShift.com, Brothers Auto Body and Repair, Gopher State Timing Association, Morley Performance, MSD Ignition, NAPA Napa, Rock Chevrolet in Grays Lake, Illinois, Wigner's Auto Body, Towel City Tires, Cometic Gaskets, Fast Time Rods, Titan Speed Engineering, Wizards Products, Citizens Bank, Fabcraft Metal Works, Hotheads, Research and Racing, Creative Customs Chop Shop, Brothers Specialty Auto Parts, Summit Racing, Strange Engineering, Webco, Craftsman Tools, C.P. Carello Pistons, Eastwood, ATI Performance Products, Auto Meter Gauges, Good Vibrations, Midwest Muncie, Milwaukee Brewing Company, Competition Products, Weld Specialty Gas and Equipment, Supercharger Supply, Canadian. This is very important. Canadian Hot Rod Magazine. Canadian Hot Rod Magazine. National Fleet Graphics. Wisconsin Hot Rod Radio. Lincoln Electric. Madison, Wisconsin Classics. NGK Spark Plugs. Airgas. Car Culture Deluxe Magazine. Old School Rods Magazine. They're all here covering this incredible event. American Rebel Wheels. DJ Safety Equipment. Moon out of Santa Fe Springs, California. Moon Equipment. Victory Dennis Mothershed. Victory Driveline Components. Speedway Motors. Streamline Design. Nitro Madness Magazine. Hot Wheels. Judd's Custom Photos. Nostalgia Drag World. Online Magazine. Featuring upcoming events. They are here covering the 2016 Meltdown Drags. Also, Stanky. Roger Stanky. $50 gift certificate good towards the purchase of any Stanky Motorsports product. Roger Stanky is in the house. In the house. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here is the reason that the driver ended up in the sand trap, which incidentally did its job. Driver Graham DeShanz is okay. He had a total 100% brake failure. And fortunately, he was at the playground of power where there's a lengthy uphill sand trap. And the sand trap did its job. Can you imagine the feel of panic that he felt when he went through the quarter mile and went for the brakes, only to find out, only to discover there were no brakes? Wow. What a feeling that had to have been. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, here with us this weekend, we have the Nostalgia AA Gassers, presented by Summit Racing Equipment. And the members of that prestigious organization include the Crazy Man's Toy, 48 Ford Angler, the Cage T33 Willys Coupe, which is unbelievable. The John Faust of Volant, Pennsylvania, John's Hot Rod Barn, 40 Willys. Cold Blue, just an incredible piece of equipment with motoring Mike Campolucci from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I used to announce in Toronto on Tuesday nights during the summer months. Tuesday night in Toronto, Wednesday night in Cincinnati. That's back when the funny car era was going strong, and I would be out, honest to God, 5 to 6 days a week announcing for various funny car races throughout the United States and Canada. It was a fantastic time. All right, well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, with information on the Summit Racing Equipment Nostalgia AA Gassers. And the Nostalgia AA Gassers are claimed to be the quickest, fastest, period, correct AA gas supercharged cars in the world. They are a club of drag racers formed around the all-out heads-up, no-index class of AA gas Nostalgia Drag Racing. The club is made up of members dedicated to the building and preservation of 1960s era correct AA gassers, with the exceptions made to meet sanctioning bodies' current safety technical inspection. So there you go, and we'll tell you a little more about those guys as they come up. Their sponsors include Good Vibration Motorsports of Whittier, California. USA Performance Parts, Mooresville, North Carolina. Deep in NASCAR country. Elkie Digger, located in Nashville, Tennessee. Ohio Crankshaft, Greenville, Ohio. Fast Time Rods, located in Dunkirk, New York. Mickey Thompson Tires. And Moser Engineering, located in Portland, Indiana. Autometer Competition Instrument, located in nearby Sycamore, Illinois. Gasser Wars Magazine. Visit GasserWarsMagazine.com or call Phil or D at 425-356-7791. Pro Racing Fuels, located in Ontario, Canada. Abruzzi Transmissions and Converters, located in Warren, Ohio. And of course, Summit Racing Equipment, located in Talmadge, Ohio. SummitRacing.com. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, something else I want to tell you about. If I can find the tower while it's new, it's still somewhat cramped, but we're getting through it all. Here are the people that have really stuck it out this weekend. Gasser Wars Magazine and its advertising are sponsoring the following awards. Gasser Wars Magazine, 4 subscriptions at $40 each, 2 award plaques, Best Gasser Award, editor. Editor's Choice Award, Hot Rods Research and Racing, 4 $50 certificates towards purchase. Victory Performance Parts, 5 $100 certificates. 5 $100 certificates towards purchase. Dennis Mothershed. Moon Eyes, the original Moon Eyes, 5 $50 certificates towards purchase. DJ Safety Equipment, 3 $50 certificates towards purchase. Fast Times Rods, 1 certificate for a straight axle with a value of $275. Titan Speed Engineering, 1 $250 certificate towards purchase. A $50 certificate, a $50 certificate by Stanky Motorsports. Staff, report to your duty stations, please. Illinois, number 366. That is Ron Green of Janesville, Wisconsin. Ron Green, 1085 for Ron at 123.45. Incidentally, the roadster driver went clicking through the clocks at 126 miles an hour plus to find out he had no brakes. No brakes. He held up his hand, but that didn't do much good. He ended up in the sand trap, and that worked just fine for him. All right. Here is another roadster, early model Hemi, I believe, number 539. That is Robert Neves of Grafton, Wisconsin, and another good-looking Crosley, number 135. Michael Allison, Yorkville, Illinois. Crosley, 48 Crosley wagon. 48 Crosley wagon. There's a Lions Drag Strip t-shirt. You see, ladies and gentlemen, people have so much fun coming to these events. I'm one of the most fortunate. I'm a most fortunate individual in as much as I get to do this, the Meltdown, and then my next biggie is Bakersfield, California, and I can't even believe what that's going to be about. The 25th AAA California Motor Club Hot Rod Reunion, and over 90 entries are expected for the Cackle Fest. And it's just like this thing. It's over the top. I extend a personal invitation to any and all of you to attend that monster event. All right, on the line right now, number 535, that is Mr. Jeff Cooperman. No, it isn't. Doug Shepard in the Tower Lane. Doug Shepard, and he goes through at 962. Good run for Doug at 135.78. Here is the Rock and Roll Express. The Rock and Roll Express. You can see that guy bent over that bug catcher, or that, I think that's a Hilburn on there, but at any rate, that is Larry Walnick, one of the smartest people around. He was tutored personally by Austin Coyle. He was a crew chief on several funny cars back in the day. Most recently, he was a high-paid crew chief for Bill Miller Racing at AA, the Top Fuel, NHRA Top Fuel. He is the guy that came out with that gizmo that measures traction at a racetrack. You know, that just set on the track. He is one smart dude. Larry Walnick, and the driver is he operates a powder coating business. That is Bobby from Monee, Illinois. Monee, Illinois. And they got their entry in a hurry because they knew what this is all about. Bob Buckley, Monee, Illinois, a coating specialist. Coating Specialties is the name of his business. Number one qualifier last year. Let's see what they do this time. Big Iron funny car will be up next. Wow. And the builder of that chassis is around here somewhere. Ruman Chassis out of Indianapolis. Ruman himself is here on the grounds. He calls this event one of the best he's ever seen. All right, Jim Pyrex, crew chief, Ralph Grody. Granddaughter is watching live from the Oh my God, don't ask me to announce this stuff. I can't get through this stuff, honestly. Boy. Jim Pyrex, crew chief, Ralph Groats, granddaughter, is watching live from the Children's Hospital, waiting for a liver transplant. Say hi to Megan. Wow. That puts things in perspective. bless you, Megan. Bob Buckley, Mooney, Illinois. For sure, 7:45, 172.10. 7:45, 172.10, and the magic fingers of Mr. Larry Wolnick have worked again. Like the big iron. Big iron! S&S headers. Henry Skelly Service, Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, Kansas, big iron. Brett, Jim, and Brett Henry, Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, Kansas. And this thing may go for a real ride. Wow. Holy smokers, let him hit! Let him hit! Hemi power, my friends. Hemi power all the way from Wichita, Kansas. How lucky are we to have Mr. Brett Henry in our midst? How lucky are we? God, isn't it incredible? After all of the horrible, sad news of the past week or so, and here we are having all this fun, all this enjoyment. Fantastic. Fantastic. The Henrys from Wichita, Kansas. Your MC for the next segment of the 2016 will be Mark, the Meltdown MC. Mark! Right there's one of my personal favorites back there in line, Mike Paulina of Chicago. We need the Meltdown girls. We need the Meltdown girls. Get that big iron hooked. All right, he goes through after all of that at 997, 149.30. And ladies and gentlemen, Mark, the Meltdown MC.
All right, attention in the pits. If you are part of the backup girl competition, it is happening right now. It will be happening throughout the afternoon, and it'll be judged when? Throughout the afternoon. And the awards will be later on this evening. All right, you see that piece of fiberglass right there? That is another silent auction piece. And that is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, give these folks a cheer. They are part of the crew putting on this event for you this weekend. The Meltdown Drag Association in the house today. Folks, if you are interested in putting in a bid on the silent auction for any of these pieces, make your way over to the Meltdown tent behind the tower, kitty corner from the Gasser Wars magazine trailer. once again, give these folks a cheer. If it wasn't for them, we would not be here this weekend. And also a big thank you to Scott from Scott Rods for putting that thing together. That is just a beautiful piece. And if anybody is interested in making a bid on any of those parts, stop over by the Meltdown tent. All right, so if you are part of the Backup Girl competition, if you are one of the women helping out and are in the competition for the Backup Girls, that is an ongoing thing throughout the day today. And it is starting now, and it will be going on throughout the rest of the day today. A big thanks to Ron for the introduction, and a thank you to the Meltdown crew for having me up here today. Beautiful day here at Byron Dragway, Meltdown Drags 2016. All right, beautiful full-body dragster over in lane number 2. I have not been able to find any stats on that car all weekend. Going up against the machine from Beloit, Wisconsin here in the Tower Lane. Jay Larson from Beloit, Wisconsin driving the door car. 869 with a 4 in the dragster at 150 miles an hour in lane number 2. All right, getting that car positioned in and ready to go. Number 92, Jason Metler. Jason Metler, old school dragster. How about it? Arlington Heights, Illinois. From 1 to 2 p.m., Jack Merkel will be at the Meltdown tent doing autographs. There is an autograph session with Jack Merkel at the Meltdown tent from 1 to 2, and the Grove Boys will be there from noon to 4. So stop on over by the Meltdown tent to get yourself some autographs. Legends in the world of drag racing here at the Meltdown Drags this weekend. John and Jason Metler from Arlington Heights, Illinois. All original 1964 vintage front engine dragster. 301 cubic inches of Chevrolet power. And it is a push start machine still. They got it set up, I think, finally with a battery start. But they've had this car in the family since 1969. If you've been out here before, you may recognize the machine. They had it out here last year. And they got the push start vehicle back there as well, the El Camino. I talked to Jason a little while ago. He said he was going to take some easy passes. Doesn't want to burn the clutch out. That's why he took off so nice and easy at the hit. 1192 at 137 miles an hour. Dumping the laundry at the top end. Nice pass in that old machine. Folks, I want to remind everybody that The staging lane area behind the track needs to stay clear. The area behind the burnout boxes needs to stay clear. Make sure you have safety in mind. Safety is our #1 concern here at the Meltdown. Be aware of what's going on around you. Also, that means that if you are driving a golf cart, a scooter, or anything like that, you must be sitting down. You cannot be standing on your four-wheeler while you are driving it. Once again, you need to keep the staging lane area open. The staging lane area needs to be clear. That's right, we will stop the race if we need to move people. All right? We don't want to have to do that, but it may come to that if need be. So if you are watching the racing behind the track here, make sure you keep the staging lane area clear. All right, this is the car that was the giveaway at last year's Meltdown Drags. Merrick Churkow, fuel driver from back in the day, won this car and got it put together. How about it? Nailhead Buick power. And it looks like, I'm not sure, but I believe this is going to be a pair. Maybe not. All the way from Utah, if memory serves me correctly. The winner of the dragster from last year's Meltdown Drags. He was a top fuel racer, lived in Detroit, lived in Pomona, raced at all the big tracks, and beat a lot of big name drivers as well back in the day. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting staged in and ready to go in that old Buick powered machine. Wow! Way out of the groove at the hit. Brings it back to the center of the track for a nice, easy pass. Save the equipment for another run. We will get back underway as soon as the track is clear. Slow roller in the right lane. There is a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit in the pits, in the staging lanes, and on the grounds. Please be aware of what's going on around you. We want to make sure everybody stays safe today. All right, once again, I need the back of the staging lane area, actually the back of the track area directly in front of the staging lanes needs to be clear. You folks here right in front of the staging lanes, there is a lot of traffic out there. You folks cannot be hanging out there in front of the cars. We need to keep that area clear. Yeah, if we need to stop the race to make sure everything gets cleared out, we will do so. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I know that's a beautiful place to take pictures, but we need to keep that area clear. And we have some officers out there helping out to make sure that the crowd stays under control. Please be safe out there, ladies and gentlemen, and keep that area clear for our racers. It may sound like a bad thing, but we have your interests in mind. We are doing this for your safety. Jim Pierlick. Jim Pierlick from House Springs, Missouri, here in the Tower Lane. 1964 vintage front engine dragster going up against Stan Johnson from Brookfield, Wisconsin. Stan Johnson, been driving a race car for many, many years. Also raced on the Salt Flats, among other things. Little out of the groove in the left lane. Wow, 8:48 at 141 miles an hour here in the Tower Lane. Got into the marbles just a little bit right before the finish line. The Martucky Motor Club president in lane number 2. Mike Johnson from Illinois, a pack rat by trade. 1965 vintage front engine dragster in lane number 2. Jim Conley Jr. from Shorewood, Illinois, sanitation engineer driving the 1968 vintage car here in the Tower Lane. 306 cubic inches of Chevrolet power here in the Tower Lane. Robert Buckley. I apologize, Robert Buckley here in the Tower Lane. The computer screen did not change. Buckley leaving on a red light here in the Tower Lane. At the stripe, it is Buckley with a 987 at 130 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, get your cameras ready. This is a beautiful pair of race cars right here. Mopar Power, altered wheelbase machine. John Grinwald, the Gold Digger in lane number 2. And the Moparius Maximus here in the Tower Lane. This is one wicked machine. Smoking burnout out of the altered wheelbase machine. A factory experimental, both cars. I'm up in the tower, I can't smell it, but memory serves he may be tipping the can here in the Tower Lane. This is one wicked automobile. Blown versus injected. John Grinwald, part of the Nostalgia Superstock Racing Group. There's a couple other cars out here this weekend that are part of that racing group as well. Listen to that Plymouth idle. The fumes just bring a tear to your eye. Both cars working their way into the beams. Here we go, folks. Beautiful side-by-side pass. And he pulls the chutes out early in the Tower Lane. 8.5 seconds. 8:58 at 130 miles an hour. In lane number 1 to an 8:77 at 151.89. Big top end charge for Grinwald. Not enough to make it happen. Watch this car. Keep your cameras out, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Molina here in the Tower Lane. How about it? Both of these guys putting them up on the bars. Nick Schervino. Nick Schervino driving the 57 Chevrolet in lane number 2, the Iron Man. He is an iron worker by trade. Mike Molina, retired Chicago police officer here in the Tower Lane, and he's got some war wounds on the side of that car. The latest one is from Bowling Green. I've seen him bounce off the walls a couple of times. I'm not going to say any more about it. Keep your cameras out, folks. Oh, look at that. Both cars up. The 57 Chevrolet back up again. Molina gets the win line with a 10:33 at 127 miles an hour. Both cars up in the air at the hit. Whitey Hirsch here in the tower lane driving that machine. He is a bracket racer. Runs that car all over the place. Going up against the 1951 Chevrolet in lane number 2. All right, the class reunion 51 Chevrolet in lane number 2. Putting it up on the bars at the hit. Side by side at the stripe, it is a Chevrolet 957 with a 7 at 137 miles an hour. Ted Beach, terrible Ted Beach. Beautiful 1937 Chevrolet. He is a body shop owner by trade, and look at this. That car is beautiful. Raced all over the Midwest. He ran that car at Oswego. Back in the day he ran that car here, it was all over the place. Joe Beach, his son, driving the 56 Chevrolet here in the tower lane. The family feud on the starting line. Once a racer, always a racer. Ted, the old man, gets the win. 950 to a 965. Close race. All right, here we go. Next pair coming up. Chevrolet versus Chevrolet. Matt King from Manchester, Michigan, driving the A-Gas 55 Chevrolet. A millwright by trade. Small block power here in the tower lane. His opponent. Illinois, the 1957 Chevrolet. Bert Fry gets the win light with a 932 at 138 miles an hour. The Bone Shaker Willies. Tony Zompetta from Chicago, Illinois. An accounting manager by day, a drag racer by night. 1941 Willys Steel Coupe, blown Big Block Chevrolet. At the stripe, it is a 1043 at 132 miles an hour. The Studebaker single pass in lane number 2. Adam Bateman from Stacy, Minnesota. Stacy, Minnesota, all the way to the Meltdown drags this weekend. 1953 Studebaker with a small black Chevrolet under the hood. 1310 at 63 miles an hour. Big smoking burnout out of both cars. Brandon Beach in the far lane. Lane number 2, the 1958 Chevrolet going up against the Rumblin' Rambler. This thing is awesome. Jack Kaler. Jack Kaler from Gillespie, Illinois. Rambler American with a small block in it. They've been doing a lot of work on that car as well, getting ready for this weekend's race. Both cars are in. Here we go. The Chevrolet is out on the American Motors machine. Brandon Beach gets the win, 10:43 with a 3 at 130 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you keep the staging lane area clear. Keep an eye on what's going on around you at all times, and please keep the staging lane area clear right behind the bleach box. Yesterday's child, Chevrolet in lane number 2, going up against the Lark S Monster Studebaker. Mike Lewis from Westchester, Ohio. An auto painter by trade, driving the Studebaker Lark. Small block power. At the stripe, his opponent gets the win light. The Paniton brothers from North Carolina, driving that old Chevrolet. Look at this, the Joker. Pontiac versus Pontiac. Bill Eblin from Canton, Illinois. 1955 Pontiac Chieftain stops the clocks with a 10:68 at 124 miles an hour. The missing link. Look at that. Is that beautiful? Dave Walters from Fenton, Missouri. Facilities director by day. 1951 Henry J here in the tower lane. Going up against that beautiful 55 Chevrolet in lane number 2. Brian Graylock from Harvard, Illinois, driving the Chevrolet 210. Fenton, Missouri, 10:87 with a 9 at 119 miles an hour. Next pair coming at you, 55 Chevrolet wagon. Look at that, is that sharp? Rick Bowman. Rick Bowman from Indianapolis, Indiana. The Handyman, 55 Chevrolet, going up against the White Lightning Impala. Greg Diet from Imperial, Missouri. The 1962 Chevrolet Bel Air, 331 cubic inches of power in lane number 2, going up against the Handyman. White Lightning, a little bit quicker at the hit. 979 at 138 miles an hour. Tub and Squirt. Ben Bacon. Ben Bacon from Kingston. Driving the Anglia, Tub and Squirt. Works for the Union Pacific Railroad. The Bacon Family Feud, the Innocent Rascal versus Tub and Squirt. The Bacon Family Drag Racers, 11:21 with a 7 to an 11:51 with a 4. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have your cameras ready for this. Get your video cameras ready. The Suicide King is in the house. The Studebaker. Watch this. Bill Biernan from St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri, driving this car. 427 cubic inches of Chevrolet power. Injected machine, 1951 Studebaker. Keep an eye on this car, folks. Wow! Little close to the wall on that one. Man. Talk about going for a ride. The Rooster Tail 57 Chevrolet in lane number 2. Seagas. These are Seagas competition machines. Russ Caston from Tomah, Wisconsin, driving the 57 Chevrolet. Tomah, Wisconsin. And Bruce and Doug Henning from El Dorado, Wisconsin, the 56 Ford Victoria the Joker here in the Tower Lane. El Dorado, Wisconsin, and Tomah, Wisconsin. And it looks like the Rooster Tail machine may be having some difficulties. 11:39 with a 2 and 116 miles an hour in the Ford. And he's fired back up. He may have lost fire. I don't know what's going on over there. Yesterday we lost, I believe, 4 drive shafts. It's snorting and popping. He's getting it running. Racers, if you have a problem as you're going down the track today, please pull over against the guard wall as safely as you can. That way, if there's an issue, if there's something that needs to be cleaned up, it will not take all day to get it clean. All right, looks like we're going to get them pushed back. Some kind of a mechanical issue here in the right lane. A big welcome to all of you folks out there for the Meltdown Drags 2016. We appreciate you coming out. We hope you're enjoying yourselves. Make sure you stay hydrated today. It is going to be a warm day. It's not real hot, but it's going to be hot enough if you're in the sun all day. We got all kinds of good food cooking on both sides of the track and ice cold beverages as well as ice cream. Big smoking burnout in lane number 2, the big wagon. Brian Ridge from New Lenox, Illinois, 1967 Chevy Nova wagon. He told his wife we were buying a crossover, and there it is, yeah, the crossover vehicle, a station wagon. Hey, it's a good excuse. Al Johnson From Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, driving the 1948 Ford Custom with the moon eyes on the door. Ford versus Chevrolet. The crossover vehicle gets the win, 1096 and a